Corrective feedback involves teachers prompting students in ways that encourage students to self-repair.
How many types of corrective feedback are there, and what are the most common?
Well, there are several different types of corrective feedback. There's oral corrective feedback, which is usually what research focuses on because it's about the interaction in the moment. Roy Lister did a whole study and he looked a lot at corrective feedback and interaction between teachers and students. And what he found is that most of the time, teachers will repeat recasts, they're called. They'll repeat back using the correct language form what the students have said. That isn't always effective because students think, oh, yay, the teacher's paraphrasing back the right answer. And they don't necessarily notice right away the teacher supplied the correct language form. So recasts are one type. Types that are often far more effective are prompts. So like an example of a prompt might be, I don't understand. Try that again. And that makes students realize that, oh, something was incorrect with my answer. And so that prompts them, like we said before, to self-repair. An elicitation or prompting students to be metalinguistically aware. So a teacher might say something like, remember, we talked about present tense verbs. How would you use the verb correctly in the sentence that you just shared? So they'd actually refer to the language and because they've been teaching different aspects of the language. So then again, it prompts the student to self-repair. One of the favorites that we talk with our teachers a lot about is simply, it doesn't even have to be an actual verbal expression. And over time, students learn that means, oh, wait a minute, I said that incorrectly. So I've got to go back and say it again. So those are just some
I
examples.
remember the one example that we show often of a classroom, and a little boy is telling the story, and his teacher is using corrective feedback very naturally. And she's like, wait, did you fall off the bike? Who fell
Yeah.
off the bike? Because he had used the verb tense incorrectly.
Incorrectly.
And that prompted him to clarify, to retell it in a way that
Yes.
demonstrated that his sister is the one who fell off the bike.
Not him.
Yeah.
Right. And that's so, and I know that a lot of teachers hesitate to do that because they think, oh, I'll interrupt the flow of this little guy's little sweet story and his ability to communicate. And you could see in that video you're referring to, he got a little frustrated, like, but he so wanted to tell his story that he eventually was able to find the correct verb form. And then he felt really proud. And
Right.
so I know we don't like our students or even our children to struggle, but it's the very thing that promotes that deeper level processing and ability to learn. And so that's the other thing. That's the other reason corrective feedback is so important is it really supports students in deeper level processing. When they have to pause, think, and self-repair, then they're going deep. And that deeper level processing is cool because that moves things from short-term memory into long-term memory, which means that students are more likely to be able to retrieve like the correct form again.